All right, lovely. I'll be honest, I'm a little jet lagged. I was in Asia, bouncing around there a bit, and I took a ton of melatonin last night, and got to sleep at like you know 6 p.m. It was delightful. I don't know how the football game ended, um, but I definitely am feeling a little bit groggy, and Rob has worked with me for a long time and has seen the dynamics of Levi, and he can tell when he first sees me, and he's like, Levi, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Is what he asked me. I'm like, no, Rob, groggy, too much melatonin. But also, I woke up probably a little angry. I did, right? Because the reality is we've been running this company now for 5 years, and I wouldn't say we have enough market share yet. We have not found enough success. And that makes me angry, right? Because that is where our competition can find comfort, right? If we find ourselves satisfied. And this has been a great year, a year to celebrate. We've had a lot of big wins. We hit our 5-year anniversary. We have sold our 500,000th e-bike. We reached that number faster than anybody has reached that number before. And we're currently pacing to hit 1 million e-bikes faster than anybody else. Even if they had a 5-year head start, the pace we're going, we will hit 1 million e-bikes faster than everyone else. Lots to celebrate there. The team has continued to grow. We've been able to specialize our customer service department to provide better, faster service, 7-day-a-week support, continue to build out the product team and recruit there. And yeah, there's those things, and then there's also the stuff outside of the core business that I think you and I take a tremendous amount of pride in, and I hope you guys feel some pride and reason why we're able to do these things is Lectric's philanthropy effort, right? We've done projects throughout the U.S. and Africa. Our most recent project that came to a close was our project in Zambia. It was our most expensive project we've done so far, where it's a school / boarding school where there's 150 at-risk kids that now live. There's some that have survived child slavery, child sex trafficking, are now being housed and cared for there. But then there's an additional 350 kids that attend that school 5 days a week and get fed there and everything like that. That's a cool project. Project we just did, which we launched a little bit ago, was our partnership with Grand Canyon University, where we sponsored 12 Arizona foster children and paid for all their tuition and their room and board and their summer housing. That's one of the real challenges with those that are in the foster care system is, you may age out, you turn 18, age out, but then there's these gaps that you still need to find solutions for. And we wanted to be that solution for some of these kids. So we had our first student who entered into that program graduate with a nursing degree, and that's something we're really proud of being a part of. And so there's been these great things that we've been so excited about. We've had the #1 selling e-bike in America now for 3 years now in the Lectric XP. We've had the #1 selling electric trike, the #1 selling electric cargo bike, but there's still work to be done and still market share to be grabbed. What would have really been fun is if you guys were here on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we have a really fun thing happening at the office because we do like to celebrate the wins, where we have a banner coming down as #1 best-selling electric bike company for North America in 2023. And I like the idea of banners and championships. I'm a big sports fan. I like, unfortunately, the Phoenix Suns continue to break my heart, but I love the idea of hanging up banners. And so we got that first one, and the banner's going to be dropped on Wednesday. Really cool. But, kind of got me a little bit addicted and talking to Rob. All right, let's order 2024. We got 2024's banner already locked up. Like, we already pressed order as we know we're going to be #1 best-selling for this year as well. But let's start thinking about not just the end of this year, because we shouldn't stop applying pressure, but 2025 and beyond. We need to continue to apply pressure, where it hurts most, on the throat of the competition. We should continue to launch products that go right at them. And so that is what we're doing here today. We are going to continue to apply pressure just as we have. So let's go ahead and let's bring out some bikes. And while the boys go and grab that, this is, well, there's a great quote where it's, comparison is the thief of joy. And I would say that's very true. And that's why I wake up angry. And that's why I wake up hungry to come out with new bikes. So let's bring out the, oh, where are you? There it is. All right, so here is the Expedition 2.0, and then the X-Peak 2.0. Woo! Thank you.
Oh, we got okay.
Beautiful.
Oh, there's another one. Yeah, are the tires getting better? What's going on?
Bring that over here. Right on. Thank you, gentlemen. So I do a great deal of research, and that's actually, a lot of my research comes from everybody here, right? I sit and I watch reviews and I watch customer feedback. I peruse the comment sections and I look for communication. And then I go to Rob and Matt and say, I need these things. And we then work together to make those things a reality. So what did we do here? What we did is brought many of the requests for these individual products to make them a great success. And I would say there's a lot of, it's interesting with a product like the Expedition, because it's already the #1 selling electric cargo bike. It actually, in terms of North America sales, the flagship cargo bike company that everybody knows, this one bike outsells that fleet. So it's a lot of pressure to come out with a new version of such a successful product, but also there's a lack of pressure, because why would you do it? You already have the #1 position. Why would you do it? Well, it's because of the customer request and this feeling that there shouldn't be, just because we have the #1 position already, or just because it's the end of 2024 and we already got our banner ordered, we don't necessarily believe in this idea of garbage, right? We want to keep the best players in and level up with any opportunity. So the upgrades I'm going to be talking through today, a lot of them pair to both products. And so I'm going to be talking about them jointly together. So the big flagship upgrade that we're bringing to both of these bikes is the torque sensor is coming to both of them. So the torque sensor that you guys know and love and got familiar with on the Express is now coming on the Expedition and the X-Peak 2. And so for those that have not experienced or spent too much time with the torque sensor, we believe we have tackled that pedaling experience better than anybody else has. Many of you that have been with Lectric before has known how anti-torque sensor I've been. I really felt like the power delivery required too much human output to make it an enjoyable ride. It really took away the experience. I just like to go fast. Like, that is what I live for. And, I want to be able to still go fast, and I wasn't finding that with the torque sensors that we do. So then we went and tackled it our own way. Matt, can you speak to kind of the riding profiles and the customization and how they can make it unique to achieve what I was looking for, originally, but also kind of hit the mark of what you or Rob would like?
Sure. So with the Express, we started something that was totally different, like Levi had said, with the torque sensor. but what we wanted to do in addition to that was provide many different riding profiles for that customer. So the way that we did that is we introduced a new setting called P11. And what that allows the customer to do is toggle between a normal profile of riding with a torque sensor, and then they're able to amp it up by toggling it to a different setting that increases that power multiplier. So that means the amount of power you put in, it's going to give you even more power than what the regular normal amount had been programmed for the bike. And that is really differentiated from a lot of our competitors where, of course, they have different pedal assist levels where they're able to do that with set profiles, but we really increased it by twice as many, obviously. So that is something that is unique to this. Of course, there's P22, which many of you are also familiar with. That's a legacy setting that we have dating back to Expedition 1.0. So carrying that forward, really the rider has 12 different riding profiles if you take into account Class 2, Class 3, and also P11, and you got P22 with 3 settings. So the opportunities are endless for that customer to settle in and find that exact riding behavior that they want when they go out and use the bike every day.
Yeah, sweet. And part of it is, the multiplying effect of the torque sensor and the leveling up that you can do in those settings, where you can have your pedal stroke act simply as a multiplier of your pedaling output. So you can have it set to 600%, right? 600% here?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it allows for you to achieve that, 25, 28 miles per hour speed without completely gassing yourself. So that is obviously one of the big things that we brought to it. Both of them are now getting the color display from that first came out with the Lectric 1. The overall cockpit we wanted to upgrade as well. We added the color display, we added the lock-on grips, still it has the hydraulic brakes, but this being a city bike now has turn signals that are able to be activated and used up here. Then there is the so there's the those aspects of it, but one of the pieces of feedback, again, there's a deep joy. I watched those comparison videos and I studied them, and it always irks me when something as simple as not needing 8-speed would get held against me, and then I'm like, all right, shoot, let's just get away with that reason. So they both are now moving to the Shimano Altus 8-speed drivetrain systems, and so it has the trigger shifter under the bars as well. So we've added that. One of the big things with the original XP was that RC Renegade fork. That was kind of the main selling point of this product, was the fact that we took a $400 fork and put it on a affordable off-road e-bike. And RST could not believe how many forks we bought, right? They were anticipating 1,000 or 2,000. We ended up buying 5 figures worth of forks just in its first year. And this is what I think about. This is the best-selling cargo bike. This is the second best-selling off-road bike in the class. And those that were at the launch may remember that if you're not first, you're last. And that is how I feel when I thought of this product. So we wanted to take all that was great about it, the RC Renegade fork, obviously, carry it over, but then give it those upgrades that others were craving. So that has the RC Renegade fork. Now, probably the largest request for the Expedition was the front suspension. It was, yes, definitely something people wanted, and whether it's through surveys, comment sections, what have you, they wanted this front fork. And so we decided to tackle this in-house for a couple of reasons. Matt has headed up front fork design for us before. He comes from front fork design over at Hayes. Matt, can you speak to what's unique about those compared to others in the space?
Sure. So before I jump into that, I'll just kind of explain the difference first between, let's say, a suspension design, what we have here on the X-Peak versus what we have on the Expedition. So on the X-Peak, you have a coil sprung on the left, and then you have a damper on the right. So it allows you to control how fast, or the compression, let's say, and the rebound of that torque. That's something that's more necessary when you're talking about off-road or this category of bike. You also have more suspension. So if you have more suspension travel, you want to have more control over that, especially when you're riding off-road, like I said. So to contrast that with the Expedition 2.0, much shorter travel, not an off-road bike, so it's not going to require the same amount of fine-tuning that a customer who rides off-road is going to need. This is purely a more passive suspension because it has two suspension coils in either fork leg that the customer or the rider, let's say, can adjust to tune the suspension rate or the compression rate of those springs, or the preload, let's say. So that is what is unique and stand out from our competitors, where they don't have that same approach. That's something that's very, very new for the cargo bike space and is becoming more and more popular, is the dual sprung design. So that is something that you guys will have to pay attention to and have to adjust the different preload to adjust that spring rate. And that's truly important because the bike is loaded totally differently than an off-road bike. The cargo bike itself can carry 450 pounds, can carry quite a bit up front, of course, more in the back. So you want to make sure that when you're riding over, bumps or imperfections in the road, that you have something that feels stiff enough for that application. And so that's what you'll notice with the board.
Yeah, totally. Like we were talking about earlier, we believe that this is where we're skating towards where the puck is going. We believe with cargo bikes, we're all going to be using this form. That's why you're starting to see RSP come out with their new form of a dual spring front suspension. And so we see it going that way, and more will be adopting this format. And we have found that it has delivered by far the best performance of any option we were looking at. So that is one thing. Now talking about the motors, they're both using the 750 watt stealth motors. Incredibly quiet. If you when you ride the Expedition in particular with this smaller wheel diameter, this is a 2.5, so down from the 3-inch. That was due to increasing the maneuverability, but an added bonus when doing that. And also, you didn't need the 3-inch anymore since we had added that front suspension. But reducing the noise significantly was added benefit when we made that change over. But so they're both using the Stealth M24 motor platform, 750 watts. And for us, when we say 750 watts, we mean it's 750 watts. They're both rocking 24 amp controllers. Mathematically, for your guys' awareness and education, when you look at our bikes and hold us accountable, but also our competition, really it's not possible to be rocking a 750 watt motor without using a 24 amp controller. That's kind of like, that's the requirement. So if someone's doing an 18 amp controller and saying it's a 750 watt, that is not true. If they're doing a 20 amp, it is not true. So it's in order to meet the requirements that are set by motor manufacturers to be paired with a set controller, has to be a 24 amp controller or above, and that is what both of these platforms and systems are using. Continuing forward, the cockpit, though, again, we upgraded the grips as well, the shifter, everything like that. Let's talk batteries. So on the XP, increase the battery, standard actually to 15 amps on this amp hours on this bike here, but it is also available in a 20 amp hour option as well. So you can get in 15 amp hours or 20 amp hours. When you look at the Expedition, there is now going to be 3 battery options available to you. There is the 13 amp hour, the dual battery, which is 26 amp hours, and then we're still trying to figure out the name for the mega jumbo pack. I don't know what we're going to call it. But those are dual 17.5, so that's 35 amp hours for that. And I don't know where Alex is. Alex is in the back. He's been our range tester, and we've thrown him on this. And actually, something that's really cool about the PWR system is the amperage governance and the efficiency that you get when you use that appropriately. So we've thrown Alex on this, and he can actually reach about 18, 19 miles per hour, throttle only on pedal assist 1. So one of the things you can do in the PWR system is pair the throttle with a certain amperage max, and he can reach that speed. Well, with the speed of 35 amp hour battery, he can go throttle only 150 miles, no pedaling. So this is one of the important things about the efficiency of the system and of the way we've designed it. So, this is, So total range, pedal assist, we very much expect it to be somewhere, for the average rider to be 100 to 200 miles, depending on how hard they push it. But so you guys all have what you'll be riding today and tomorrow is the 35 amp hour kit and the 20 amp hour kit. So I look forward to you guys trying to take out all the battery and the range and see how well it fares. But yeah, so I think Robbie, did I miss anything aside from the big one?
Yeah, I mean, looking at this Expedition 2 right here, I don't think we've talked too much about accessories yet.
Sure.
So you'll notice here, this is not the Orbiter 1.0, this is the Orbiter 2.0. So we took a lot of customer feedback. You'll notice some of the design upgrades here. You've got the backrests now. You now have a modular design. We're going to be able to ship this in the box with the bike to consumers. So that's savings that we end up passing on to the consumer in the form of the bike price. We have the new center console bag option there, which is really cool. You'll also notice a feature that's particularly close to my heart is we have mounting positions on the bottom of the down tube. So you'll notice we have the bike lock underneath the frame there. Really cool just to be able to give maximum functionality, all of those accessory mounts. There's just so much you can do with this product. And then another thing that Levi mentioned is we have the Stealth M24 motor on both of these bikes here, but we really wanted to, obviously with the Expedition, you're going to be carrying kids, precious cargo, safety is paramount. And so you'll notice we have a rear wheel guard that's on this bike here. And, we really wanted to beef that up and make that as awesome as possible, as safe as possible, but also keep the noise level down, because when you have a shroud over that entire rear wheel, it ends up acting like an echo chamber a little bit on some of the competitor bikes. So you'll notice that we cut a bunch of holes in it, and that ends up helping a lot with the noise factor, as well as keeping your little one safe back there. So that's a really cool little detail that we spent a decent amount of time with this product.
Yeah, so this shroud right here is 3D printed, but this is what's going to be coming on all the Expedition that are coming later this year. And so we're excited about that. The other thing is the whole platform we forgot to mention. It's now compatible with 5 amp charging as well, so we'll have a 5 amp charger. When you buy the Super Ultra Mega Pack on this one, it comes free with that battery selection. But so, when we started this project, it was a bit of time ago, and a lot has happened in the market in terms of pricing and everything. We've seen our competition raise price, and one of the things that for a while, when tariffs first hit the industry, I would I myself, and then I actually started to make the executive and leadership team watch it as well, is I would play them the scene from the movie Patriot. And it's when Mel Gibson's character holds the line. He grabs the flag and he runs forward and he just keeps yelling, "Hold the line." And that was something that I wanted us to do, is if we could just keep holding the line, keep holding price for another day, maybe this can help the rest of the market hold their prices as well. Because tariff obviously is a significant increase in cost. When we look at these products and what they're competing against, there's bikes that are $2,000, and now you look at it and it's a thief of joy unless you're the one feeling really good about the comparison, right? And so when we look at these bikes and we're trying to figure out how to price them, the price did march up. But then over time, we have been able to find more efficiencies and find scale in the company. And those that are familiar with the Lectric business model are familiar of the idea of a flywheel, right? Where we introduce a really sick product that is full of great spec and performance. And you got to place a bet on it that it's going to perform well. And then it's going to go out there and sell a bunch of them. You get a bunch of riders, and then those people kind of act as future salespeople. The way we see the riders and the community is it's ever growing. It's a snowball, and the more bikes out there, it's going to get easier to find the next rider. And so if you do that correctly, you get the economies of scale, and then you renegotiate with suppliers or go back to RST and say, hey, remember when we 5x the amount that you were going to sell? Go and you have those conversations, and then you're supposed to make the bike better. And in a perfect world, you do it without a price increase. But when there's a variable thrown in, such as tariffs, it applies great pressure, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. But the reality is I'd rather be uncomfortable than angry. I don't want to be waking up angry. I want to wake up and be stoked with the market share and success of these bikes. So I'm actually not interested in raising prices on these bikes. Both of these bikes will be holding price at $13.99. The Expedition will be $16.99 and $19.99, and the XP will be $13.99 and $15.99 for the 20 amp hour battery. And I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot now, because if you look at this, the competitor for this category, where we're second to, even with our price point where we're $600 less, we have the same battery. If you look at the price point where we're $400 less, we actually have a 30% bigger battery. We're both using torque sensors. We have a better front suspension. I believe we do torque sensing far better. We both have color displays. There's a lot to like, and the price point is what's to love, right? This is incredible. And then the Expedition, when you look at this and the competitors, even if you go with the very top price, which would be on par with the competitors, it is 35 amp hours compared to the 14 amp hours of those players. And so I feel very good. And once again, this is Lectric wanting to put our money where our mouth is and continue to operate and function differently as a business. Be willing to get uncomfortable and know that when you do right by the rider, when you give them an exceptional value and performance, and you give best in class customer service, you're not going to lose. It's just how we've always thought of doing business. Is if we do the right thing, you're never going to regret it. And so that's the decision that we've made here today. And so when these come out, they're coming out this November, and we're still ironing out when the inventory is coming. And so we got to talk to Christy, and she has all those details far better than I. But when these come out, they'll be on holiday promo. And for the dual battery version, you get the orbiter included when you get the running boards, the bag, the front headlight. Same with XP, the rack, Bender's Elite headlight, lock as well is included on that package. but trying to provide the rider the best possible value. So I've talked a great deal already, and I am sure you guys just want to come ask questions and get riding. Of course, the most fun thing. And before we do that, I just want to recognize, I know some of you came not so far, Arizona, some local to here, but then others have, traveled great lengths with delays and standby and everything like that. So I appreciate the effort to get here and be a part of this, because the reality is we're a direct-to-consumer company, and this is how we do this. This is how we achieve such amazing prices. Is half of our sales are not going through the IVD network, the bicycle shops or anything like that, where they're going to take 30 or 40% margin. We try to offer an incredible price to the customers and continue to wow them, but it is, the way that they do their research and find comfort and confidence to make that bet on a e-bike company that's ran by two 28-year-olds in Arizona is really through your guys' referral and everything like that. Yeah. So thank you. Yes. David.
I noticed there's a lot of new people out here, right?
A lot of new blood.
This is like my third, fourth time coming here.
Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed that you started off doing back in the day, you used to start off with a 2-clap, right?
Yeah.
You didn't do it today,
You want a
man. What's
2-clap?
going on? Let's
Well-
go with 2-claps so we can get that energy up, because these bikes are dope. I'm not gonna lie.
We love David. Actually, you know what? David will get the first one, actually. So, because of the love that he gives and the energy he always brings, this is for the new bloods. All I need you to do, all right, make sure your hands are ready, is just give me a 2-clap. No. 2-clap. All right, so David, thank you for the love and the excitement always.
All right.
We appreciate you, man. Let's give David a 2-clap. All right, and I would love to give a 2-clap to the marketing team put on this event. Christian, Tim, Christy, all of those players who, help bring this together. And
We have one sheets on those that you guys can take with you if you want some details about the bikes. Again, the embargo is about mid-November. When we have an exact date, we'll let you guys know immediately. We have waivers for signing. We'd appreciate if you guys sign a waiver before you go ride. The itineraries and maps. So the itinerary that came in your bags that you got at check-in has a QR code for maps. There are great places to ride around here. There's a very close park right near us that you can do some off-road riding called Dreamy Draw, and it's on the map. There's also maps to go to a canal trail that will take you all the way down to Arizona State University if you want to go that far on the expedition. There's a lot of great places to ride. The other thing we want to let you know is lunch. We have these gift cards to hand out to you guys as we hand out the bikes. Sunscreen, we have sunscreen in there. Please drink a lot of water. You're in Arizona, it's super dry. You're going to be dehydrated immediately. And call us. Our numbers are on the itinerary. So Christian and I, and if you guys need any help along the way, or you run into, if anything goes wrong and you need some help or directions, just give us a call. We're around all day.
What is hilarious is when we planned this event, we said, all right, end of September. It's going to be beautiful. Oh my God. Arizona, end of September, it can be real nice. 90 sometimes. God, it's tasty. Not today. Today is going to be, and we said, all right, even if it was 100, there's no way it's going to be 105. Today's going to be probably 105. So, very unlucky. The dry heat, though, that's a simple lie I tell myself every day when I wake up here. So, but stay hydrated and call us if you need us.
And we did 2 days because we have 2 bikes. We have about 8 to 10 of each bike. So you're going to get all day on one bike today, and then you're going to switch to the other bike tomorrow. That was the plan. So as we check them out, just make sure when you ride the Execute today, you'll ride the Expedition.
Yeah, we also, since some of you guys are traveling with 2 people per channel, it's going to be 1 bike per channel, but then we have other versions like our Express, our 1, and our X-Peak 1.0.
All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching my video today. And if you are interested in buying a bike or something, please check with my affiliate links. That helps the channel out greatly. Again, guys, hit that like and subscribe on the way out. And thank you very much for watching. You guys are awesome. Thank you.